whoever wrote this verse had a perfect knowledge. He knew everything. Also, we reach at the conclusion that there is a creator, there is a positive creator, otherwise it could not be so orderly and perfect, everything. Why should everything be praiseworthy? Why should everything be orderly and in unison with each other if it was not designed? Now, this is exactly what Einstein claims. After studying the whole nature, he comes to the conclusion that he says that all my theories are based on one observation, that this universe is most beautiful, perfectly balanced and orderly, and there is nothing disorderly about it. So every phenomena that is to be observed has to be orderly. So wherever in the study of the previous scientists I did not find order and beauty, I knew there was something wrong with that concept. Because there was nothing wrong with the universe in itself. So my theory was based on a perfect order and beauty. And that is what the universe is, and this is what this verse claims. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So you are led to a God if you look at these things and indicators. Even if you don't look at these things and indicators, just the objects of observation themselves, even then you have to admit that they are praiseworthy. If not the creator, then the things themselves are praiseworthy anyway. But you go further on and then you will begin to see that each finger is pointing to the creator, to the unknown. First of all, look at yourself. Who are you? You are thinking. You have reactions to things and you know and highly computerized. Each cell in you is computerized. Each gene in you is highly encoded with the that it requires a design before it is created. Blind progress of wild forces of nature which are dead cannot produce such perfectly orderly things which are so highly complicated that even the most advanced computer scientists cannot still make the very preliminary of the life cells. And that is just a very small, insignificant example in the whole body of a human being. In fact, the very existence of human beings is an indicator, because we are also alam, we are also the indicators, and we are also the one who observe. Otherwise we don't mean anything, isn't it? Right. So if you begin the study with yourself, why not? Instead of going out in the nature and see and study fish and other things, let's study ourselves, because we are the most perfect model. Look at the design of your eyes, for instance. I wonder why the scientists, the medical practitioners and all that, they know all these things, but their praise is limited to the object of their observation. That is missed by them totally, entirely. While it is that which is more important. So study the eye. No scientist on earth has so far been able to explain how eye could be produced through evolution. Because the the eye cannot come into being just as one totality. And brick by brick, it cannot be explained by scientific explanations in any way, any form. Because it was not that the retina appeared by chance, perchance once, and then perchance, an optic nerve was added to the retina, and perchance it so happened that a perfect cell was created for it to focus its light, and perchance rods and cones were added to the retina, and perchance the distance was so perfectly orderly that the image was just sharp enough for it to be read, and perchance a system of pulses was invented through evolution, which first of all encoded the message in the form of electrical pulses, because what you observe is not the picture directly. The retina itself, if it is cut off from that optic nerve, doesn't convey anything to human beings, to the observer, any observer. What is observed is not the picture itself, but a pulse, electrical pulse, which is carried to some other part of the brain, and there again it is decoded. And the picture and the distances and the colors and the impressions and everything is then carried and distributed to many millions of cells of brain for forming their final picture. For instance, now what you are observing here is not just an automatic phenomena of a flat observation as it appears. When you are observing, your eye is automatically turning it into pulses, which pulses are carried through a cord to a brain center, which then redistributes all the information bit by bit to various departments of the brain. And each fraction of a second, hundreds of thousands of pieces of information are collected, and then pulses go back to the same center, and then a picture is created. For instance, when you are seeing things, might be in the remote past you have seen such a thing. If you have, that observation will be analyzed and it will be sent to other departments of the brain, and that department will send you an indicator that I see a child, and there was a child to my sister who was like this, and if that child died early, then your emotional center will be informed. You begin to be sad about it. If that child is the apple of the eye of the parents and is the most beloved child, then your sense of pleasure will be excited. Just the sight of it would remind you that I should be pleased at looking at this child. If somebody's image resembles an enemy's image, whom you hated, those emotions will be excited in you just by looking at the picture. And at one and the same time, you are seeing so many things. Your emotions, your past experiences, your future aspirations, all can be excited in different ways, in different shapes, by just one glance at a thing. And all that is being done in your brain. And yet, the scientists would have it that it is just a long evolution of billions of years which has created this orderly thing. Because if it is blind observation, then it should not behave like this. The blind evolution should take a few steps forward and many more steps backwards. Because it's always the guided evolution which continues the journey in one single direction of progress. So evolution it is, no doubt. But from observing